CS super chat from last week, and who says, "What's up, Chafe Dog? My girl and her mother say that it's immoral to eat meat. I told them it's part of human nature. They say it's evil to kill. How do you deal with these people?" Well, you can point out. You just ask them. It's like, okay, do we get rid of all the predators in the world? 70% of all animal species are carnivores, and they're predators. And say, okay, so we get rid of them. You know, we kill all the fish, kill all the whales, kill all the birds, kill all the dolphins, kill all the lions, kill all the hyenas and the foxes and wolves and all these sorts of things, and the bears. And they'll just say no, and well, that's just part of nature. And it's like, well, yes, we're part of nature too. We don't exist outside of nature. And also, you kill 25 times more sentient animals than you do eating meat by eating crops. To grow 1 pound of plant-based protein, you have to kill 25 times the number of sentient animals than to grow 1 pound of animal-based protein from large livestock animals like cows and sheep. So no, there's no such thing as a bloodless meal. And they may remove them, be one step removed from that killing, but that doesn't mean there's not killing involved. And I said, well, it's incidental. If you're driving on a road, you hear all these stupid scenarios. No, something died and you're responsible for that death. And so you own up for it and you own it and just say, yes, we did. And I respect this animal and respect their life. And I'm going to give them as good a life as possible, as clean a death as there can be, and respect them and appreciate them, as opposed to just putting my fingers in my ears and pretending that this isn't happening, because it is. When you grow a single crop, you necessarily have to destroy an entire ecosystem. You have to kill every plant and every animal that's in that area and grow one crop. You destroy the soil, you destroy the soil's microbiome, you kill all the plants, you kill all the weeds that come up, you kill all the insects that are trying to eat it. In America alone, with the spraying of pesticides and insecticides, we kill over 1 quadrillion insects every year. That's just in America. That's the base of the food chain. So how many billions of birds and lizards and other sorts of smaller animals that rely on those bugs and insects for food and life die out, starve to death, or don't exist in the first place because their parents couldn't get enough food to then support babies and eggs, right? You're using those pesticides and insecticides that hurts and injures 700 billion birds a year just in America. And was it billions? Million. Yeah. 700 million birds in America, and about 1/10 of those die. So, around 68 million birds die every year from these pesticides that we spray on crops. We shoot the deer and the pigs and the moose and the other animals that come in. The big harvesters just chew up and rip apart all the little animals that are in the crops, and all the bunnies and the squirrels and the mice and the snakes and the even deer that are out there in the cornfield get chewed up and mowed down and chopped to pieces. In these big combine harvesters. And it's pretty wild. It's pretty destructive. 55% of Borneo's rainforests were bulldozed for palm seed oil crops. So they killed all the orangutans, all the snakes, all the birds, everything. They destroyed this entire habitat, and they bulldoze these things. And there are videos and pictures of these orangutans falling out of these trees. They bulldoze these trees. Orangutans fall out and crash and just shatter themselves, break their spine, and just suffering and just die slowly over the next few days. It's just disgusting, what they're doing for these crops. And then the vegans will say, well, no, but you destroyed this whole virgin rainforest, but then they replaced it with trees. So same. No, it's not same. That's a monocrop. That's not an ecosystem. And all those animals are dead now. You've killed them, and then the animals that try to move in and eat that crop, because that's why they're there, they get shot, right? Because they're messing with these people's money. So no, it's actually extremely immoral to grow crops. It's extremely destructive to grow crops. It's immoral. You're killing 25 times the number of sentient animals. You're destroying the ecological base of the food chain, and killing quadrillions, tens, 50, dozens of quadrillions of insects all around the world, and you are responsible for losing 27.5 billion tons of topsoil every single year. It takes 500 years to grow a centimeter of topsoil, right? That is a vanishing resource. Screw oil. Like, topsoil is what's going to run out next, right? And and we're pretending that this isn't the case. It's already been calculated that we probably only have about 50 growing cycles left on planet Earth, and we're trying to go more plant-based and speed that up, right? That's dumb. Right? Animals regenerate the land. They regenerate the nutrients in the land. They make topsoil. And you can run them on arable land, which is 4% of the Earth's surface, including water. But you can also run them on rangeland and forest land, which makes up another 25% of the Earth's surface. Right? You can't grow crops on rangeland or forest land. And you don't need to tear down the forest to put animals through it. You just run them through, and they just eat what they eat, right? So, and it's the animals that replenish the nutrients in the soil, actually makes the land more fertile in the first place. You cannot have plant agriculture without animal agriculture. You have to have it. You have to have those nutrients coming from those animals. You can't get away from that. And plant agriculture destroys the planet, destroys the ecosystem, destroys the animals. So no, it's actually evil and disgusting to eat plants, and you should tell them that they sicken you, and you don't want to hear anything from morally bankrupt people that are trying to destroy the planet. Maybe leave that last part out. Do what you want. Hey everyone, really happy to announce a new sponsor for the show and for everybody down in Australia, Stockman Steaks, who are delivering high quality grass-fed and finished pasture-raised beef and other meats, flash frozen and vacuum sealed to your door, something that I've been enjoying a lot of myself recently as well. They also have a great range of specialty items such as high-fat keto mince and carnivore beef and organs mince with liver, kidneys, and beef heart as well. So use code Chaffee today for a free order of beef mince or another specialty gift along with your order at stockmansteaks.com.au, and I'll see you over there. Thanks, guys. It's a question from Thomas, or Tomas maybe, 3619 from last week. How important is it to eat antibiotic-free meat? Something I need to look more into, but from my understanding, they give antibiotics long before they're slaughtered, so they should be long out of their system by the time that you get them. And certainly you're not going to like eat a steak and have that be a week's worth of antibiotics or something silly like that, because you give them a shot, goes throughout their entire body. So you're not going to get that whole shot worth in each steak. That's going to be distributed out between 2 years worth of meat, right? So how much is actually in there? I don't know, but I'm not too sure it's all that significant. I haven't looked closely into it yet, but just working on that principle that like, well, this is a certain amount, but it's diluted over a whole cow, and they're not doing it like, here's your antibiotic, now here's the slaughterhouse. That doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of money. They give that to them at the beginning of the slaughterhouse, of the feedlot experience, because it's an unnatural environment. They're packed in tighter with other cows. They're eating an unhealthy diet, so they're more susceptible to infections. And so that's another thing too. You're getting just wild grass-fed animals. They don't need antibiotics, right? It's only when they go into feedlots and they're being fed things that they're not designed to eat that they end up needing these sorts of things. But they're given that early on so that they don't get sick and lose weight and die in the feedlot, so they can get them to market. So, realistically, I think it's probably well out of their system by the time we get them. But other people say, seem to have a problem with them. I know Dr. Lustig, thinks that there's a problem with them. I have a lot of respect for Dr. Lustig, but I'm just not convinced that there's much of it left in the meat by the time you get to it. but that there are ways to avoid it too. If that's something you're worried about, then certainly by all means avoid it. Super chat from last week from Irish Twins. Is carnivore okay for kids? My daughter loves steak. It is amazing for kids. It's what we've been eating forever. And since humans have been humans, and before, we've been eating meat, and pretty much exclusively meat, except for areas that weren't able to get it. And then when the megafauna died out, that increased, where people weren't able to get as much fatty meat, and they had to go to plant and animal agriculture to fill in those gaps that were left by the megafauna dying out. So yes, it's absolutely good for kids. It's actually optimal for kids, and they're going to improve their health. They're not going to get sick as much. They're going to grow better, stronger, faster, more well-developed, and bigger brains. It's really important for kids to be in ketosis and have a lot of fat, because the brain is made out of fat. It also runs primarily on ketones, and you want the ketones because they can cross the blood-brain barrier, reconstitute into fatty acids, and that makes up the physical structures of the brain. Around 70% of the brain is fat, and so you need that fat from animal fat, and you need to be in ketosis to properly deliver that fat and energy into the brain. Since the agricultural revolution, the average brain size of men dropped by 11%. And, before you get too snarky, women, about men losing their brain, women lost 17% of their average brain size. So it's not good. Like that's a losing equation. So if you want your kid to actually develop out and have the brain size and the mental capacity and physical capacity that they're designed for genetically, then you want them to be carnivore 100%. We are seeing people do this, and reverse autoimmune diseases. No one thought autoimmune diseases were reversible. Reversing diabetes. No one thought diabetes was reversible. All these sorts of things that everyone thought, no, you can't reverse that. You're just stuck with it. That's just it. That's it for you. Wrong. Okay, so this could be one of those things that we're wrong about as well. I've seen so many other things just